In this video, let's talk about ransomware attack, especially Colonial Pipeline attack, what happened during that day and immediately after the attack. Let's talk about the facts of Colonial Pipeline. It is the largest pipeline system for refined oil products in the US. It consists of tubes about 5,500 miles long. It can carry 3 million barrels of fuel between Texas and New York. Colonial had several spills in the past which caused some significant environmental damage, but nothing in the magnitude of a cybersecurity attack that we had in the past. So all of the prior damage and outage was related to something different, not cybersecurity related. Let's look at the timeline. On May 6th, DarkSide had already stolen about 100 gigabytes of data in a double extortion scheme and threatens to leak it. That means they already are in their system and taken data from Colonial Pipeline. On May 7th, Colonial temporarily shut down its pipeline operations just to prevent it from spreading. Colonial Pipeline management had paid the requested ransom of 75 bitcoins, which is nearly $4.4 million at that time. This was about May 7, 2021 timeline we're talking about. The hackers then sent the Colonial Pipeline a software application to restore their network, but it operated very slowly. It took them some time to bring everything back up, and by about May 12, 5 p.m., 6 days after the shutdown, they were slowly bringing back all operations into normal. By May 13th, product delivery has started in most markets served by Colonial Pipeline. And it was the largest cyber attack on an oil infrastructure target in the history of the United States. What we know so far: the DarkSide group apparently gained initial access to the pipeline company's network and deployed ransomware against the company's information technology network. So the information technology is where Outlook, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, everything is used. They also have a operational technology which controls all of their pipeline. Normally, infrastructure companies who control oil, electricity, power grid, traffic lights, they have an industrial control system. They also operate on special purpose computers, or sometimes they also called SCADA. So this malware apparently is on the information technology network where email, Microsoft Office, and all of the other stuff people use for regular office purposes. So there's no reason Colonial believed it was actually in their operation technology system, which is a good thing. So DarkSide is a ransom as a service provider. What they do is they develop ransom and receive a share of proceeds from the cyber criminals actors who deploy it, known as affiliates. So according to some open source reporting, DarkSide has been doing this for a while on a smaller organizations. Since August 2020, they have elevated their targets and went after like high revenue organizations. So who are these people, DarkSide criminal actors? So this group, as publicly stated, they prefer targeting organizations who can afford large ransom payments, such as hospitals, governments. They have a lot of money, or they can afford to make that type of payment. But you have to note they were targeting smaller organizations in the past. So if you're a small business or smaller company, don't get comfortable. You still have to worry about ransomware. So they have been observed gaining initial access through phishing. Phishing is something targeted to user. They send emails with the link, malicious link. When someone clicks on that link, it downloads some malicious software and That's how usually hackers get access using phishing. And they also believe to have used virtual desktop infrastructure, exploit public-facing applications, any application that's on the web, and also external remote services. So they also have been observed using remote desktop protocol. Since Colonial Pipeline ransom incident, DarkSide website has gone offline and group has been disbanded. That's what they're claiming. They lost all of their earnings from this pipeline attack, and their infrastructure, servers, and hosting provider has abandoned them. Now, the preliminary forensics, so it will take weeks, if not months, for FBI and all the cybersecurity firms to dissect what happened and look into the logs, forensic analysis, and find out and construct events that took place, how they got into their network, how DarkSide got into Colonial's network, and how they implemented all of their software, ransomware. This will take a long time to come out as a report. But right now, what we know is pretty much really high level. So the DarkSide deployed ransomware, encrypt some of the data using data encrypt for impact. Then they threatened public to release the data if the ransom was not paid. So they're like two-pronged attack. One is they stole the data, 100 gigabytes of data from Colonial Pipeline, and they also encrypted their system with their ransomware software. Apparently, DarkSide ransomware uses Salsa 20. It's a stream cipher and also RSA encryption. So the DarkSide primarily uses Tor Onion router for command and control. Command and control, that's how hackers or anybody control a machine, send commands to do certain things, and monitor what happens. And the payload that's where they gather their data. If they wanted to get customers' data, they use the payload to get that data. Command and control pretty much monitor and command and issue certain commands to do certain things. So they've also been observed using Cobalt Strike, which is another hacking tool. There's a lot of people like penetration testers use that tool too, Cobalt Strike, Metasploit. There's like a bunch of tools, both hackers and penetration testers. Red Team, Cybersecurity Red Team, they also use similar tools. What is a ransomware? It's a type of malware or malicious software that uses to scramble data and hold any company hostage until a ransom is paid. What it means is if your organization has that ransomware installed by someone or phishing or somehow they got into the network, you will not be able to do anything. Everything is locked. Your computer is locked. When you open the computer, you won't see anything, only the message. It says everything is encrypted. Restarting will not help. Shutting down, whatever you do, will not help. Once it's encrypted, that's it. You have to pay them to decrypt it. Sometimes they employ a double extortion scheme that we talked about here by pilfering data and threatening to publish it. They infiltrate any organization network and install malware or ransomware toolkits that are both cybersecurity and red teams use. We just talked about all these tools: Cobalt Strike, Mimikatz, Metasploit, PowerShell, all of those tools. So here we're looking at a WannaCry ransomware. This has been around for like a few years now. We're not sure if this is the one DarkSide used on Colonial Pipeline, but this screen is just an example to show how a ransomware screen would look like. Everything will be encrypted. You will see an instruction to pay that company via Bitcoin or any crypto coin. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see Bitcoin and they have a code. You just copy and that's how you send payments to them. So this is about my company and what we do. If you have any questions, if you want to talk to a cybersecurity consultant, reach out to us. And when we have more information about Colonial Pipeline attack and all the forensics come out, I'll publish another video explaining all the details that goes into it. I also have another video to take precautions and mitigate your risk for ransomware. So watch for that video soon. Thank you.